This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. I'm Kate Sharon. Business is booming for a wireless technology company that started small in Greenfield, but has grown its client list to 600. SoniQ provides temperature and environmental monitoring for healthcare and life sciences customers, including all pharmacies at every Indiana University Health hospital throughout the state, to make sure each fridge and freezer is keeping medication and vaccines at the right temperature. The company is led by two Greenfield neighbors and has put down roots in the city's downtown, at two buildings next to the historic courthouse. Chief Revenue Officer Joe Mundell talks the company's growth.
And, we're just coming off a record quarter for us. We had back-to-back record months. We have national contracts with Optum, which is one of the largest healthcare companies in the United States. So it's been a fun ride. And I think it just goes back to the roots of IU Health and local hospital systems like Hancock and Hendricks that helped us build this foundation.
Mundell said he believes the momentum is just starting now to increase. Almost $2 million will be invested in the River Ridge Commerce Center in Jeffersonville to build new roads and water connections after the River Ridge Development Authority Board okayed the move. The board also approved negotiations for two potential plot sales, which the board credits the attractiveness of the park in the region and nationally. The business park generated $43.6 million in total tax revenue last year. A group of Indiana leaders is pooling its resources in pursuit of landing one of 20 regional tech hubs that will focus on technology development, job creation, and expanding innovation. Heartland BioWorks has submitted an application to the United States Economic Development Administration for official designation as a regional technology and innovation hub. The Creating Helpful Incentives to Produce Semiconductors and Science Act, a $280 billion piece of federal legislation passed last year, created the Regional Tech Hubs program, authorizing the U.S. Department of Commerce to allocate $10 billion in funding over 5 years for the creation of 20 tech hubs across the country. 3 of those centers are slated to be in the Midwest. If designated as a tech hub, Indiana would compete for an implementation grant of up to $75 million. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
A new way to care for families facing Alzheimer's disease and related dementias, created right here in Indiana, is now spreading across the country. Its creators say it marks a paradigm shift because the care model pays as much attention to the unpaid family caregiver as it does the patient. Inside Indiana Business reporter Kylie Valletta has more.
Dr. Malaz Bustani, an esteemed brain doctor at the IU School of Medicine and co-developer of the new care model, says the unpaid caregiver, especially in underserved populations, suffers substantially from depression and shorter lifespan due to the stress of being their loved one's caregiver. In 2006, Bustani and Regan Streif Institute researcher-clinician Dr. Christopher Callahan created a model of care that includes a stress prevention bundle for the caregiver, services like weekly respite time, meals, transportation, and counseling. The care model showed positive results in a clinical trial, but faced a major barrier. It didn't fit the mold of the conventional fee-for-service payment model. That changed just days ago when Medicare announced the Indiana-made care model will be tested nationwide and be covered by Medicare. Dr. Malaz Bustani.
You're saving their quality of life. You're saving family from suffering. And the big thing, you keep them in the home on average of 24 months longer.
Eskenazi Health in Indianapolis was an early adopter of the care model and raised funds to support it. Other institutions include UCLA, Johns Hopkins, and UC San Francisco. Kylie Valletta, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana and Kentucky are organizing funds to complete a major bridge connectivity project over the Ohio River. The states are applying for a $632.3 million grant to fund the Interstate 69 Ohio River Crossing project in both Henderson, Kentucky, and Evansville. The mega project will have 3 sections, which includes the Henderson bypass construction and I-69 extension, a new 4-lane bridge, and similar infrastructure projects on Indiana's side of the border. State officials broke ground Tuesday on a $95 million expansion of the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in Plainfield. The academy is the only facility to house officers training from across the state. The expansion will support a new dormitory for those officers, as well as update classrooms and training facilities, including an emergency vehicle track and scenario-based training village. The new facilities are expected to bring basic training to more than 600 Indiana law enforcement officers per year. The state is directing $70 million to the $95 million project. The expansion is expected to finish by December 2025. Travis Brown, CEO of Mojo Up Marketing and Media, is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.